to an advisable person. My guest today is Walter Hendricks. He is a key production assistant at Teleperry Studios, and he just finished, well, not just, but this year he finished the last and final leg of Teleperry's Medea's farewell tour. Walter, now, this might sound a little crazy, but I saw the show 7 times.
Yeah.
So I saw it once on my birthday that same month, and then you guys came to Detroit for Mother's Day, I believe, or Easter. No, Easter. I saw it there, and then in Atlanta, when I thought it was gonna be the performance, I went 2 times, and then we went to Augusta. Now I saw both the last matinee and the last show. So I know how big this set is. How in the world did you move that set so fast?
That right there in and of itself is that takes a lot of teamwork, and it's not just me. We had 2 assistant stage managers. I was one, and then we had another guy named Tariq who was the other one, and then we had a stage manager who ran the show. Basically, she called all the cues and all this. So we had 2 of those. Yeah. We had one the first run in 2019, and then we had the other one in 2020 at the beginning of the year. We had a separate one. But the way it works is there's got to be a plan there. You've got to have a plan, because if you don't, it's gonna be a mess. Especially a lot of and let me put it this way too. Let me say this too. The Madea farewell tour was the first and only play I have ever done behind the scenes. I've been cast in plays before, and what I call a traveling play. It wasn't a touring play, because a touring play, we're out for several months. We went from January to May in 2019, and then at the beginning of 2020, we went from mid-January to mid-February, but we were also filming during the week. So we would film the TV shows, and then I would fly out Friday morning to go in to the next city, and then we'd take a tour bus. But the way it works is you get in there, and we had another stage manager who ran the behind the scenes. And the way it works is they go in, they set it up, and you come in there first, and they have to hang all your trellises, your trussels and everything, and your trusses up in the ceiling, so they can hang your curtains and your lights and your speakers and everything off of them. That stuff is exactly. Now that stuff is normally, hopefully, able to be done the night before, but sometimes it's not, because you have a play the night before and you'll travel to the next city. Well, that means they're getting there and they're hanging, and then we come in on our buses, or depending on how far we were going, sometimes we flew, but we would come in on the buses that next morning. So when we get there, now what happens is the stage itself, the flooring and everything will be put down. The turntables, as you know, because you saw it 7 times.
Yes.
It turns in and out, so you have to get the turntables down, make sure they're working, and then the carpenters come in and they build the set itself out. And then at that point, that's when Tariq and myself would go in, and we would then all that, the furniture and everything, the shelving, all the stuff you saw on the walls and stuff, that was us. We hang cabinets and all this stuff. And we got it to where it was a system. We got in there, we could load that stage, build out on it, which we had more time to build out most of the time. We could have that whole set built, our part, in 45 minutes, but it would normally take about 6 or 7. Yeah, 6 or 7 hours to build out everything. But our part we were 45 minutes. But to get off the stage, we could get off the stage in about 15 minutes, and we could have our truck loaded. We were off the stage in 15, had our carts and stuff loaded, had all of our cases, all the wardrobe cases, and all the production cases loaded on our truck in about an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we get on our bus and we go to the next city and do it all over again.
Yeah, because I'm a producer and a director, and so what I do plays, so I know how long it takes to build sets, and so I'm like, basically the audience leaves, or really sometimes while the audience is leaving, you guys are back there. Okay, so when you're on tour, you have carts. There's a name for it. What's the name for the carts that you guys tour with? Tours. They have trucks that they put wardrobe, and like the band has, everyone gets their own truck.
Sort of. Okay, so as the stage managers, the wardrobe department would pack all their own cases and stuff. They'd be packed, and then we had stagehands that we hired in each city, and we would take those stagehands. So the first thing the stagehands would do is right at the end of the show, and you've been there on the last day of a show.
Yeah.
So if you're still sitting in the audience and you see, because what happens, we have to turn the walls. So right about the end, we normally give about 10 or 15 minutes. We'll open the big wall back and we'll turn the house to the inside. We do that for a reason, because it's easier for me to get off the stage with my stuff. But if you're still watching the stage on the last day when we're moving, you'll see me and the stagehands and Tariq. Well, Tariq is normally backstage, but he would come out on the front also. You would see us on the stage pulling stuff. Yes. So we're already getting it off of there. So you saw that.
Yes.
Well, we have, our truck is always the first in the hole, and we had something where I think it was 11 or 12 trucks, maybe a couple more trucks, semis, that we put everything in to travel. Well, on our truck, we had Mr. Perry's dressing room stuff in there. We had the props and stuff off of the stage itself, along with like all of the furniture, all of the cabinetry, all this stuff that's hanging on the walls. We had all of that. Then once we got all of that off and loaded, we go down the hallway with our hands, and then we would bring out all of the cases for wardrobe. And then we go to production, we bring out all of those cases. So we had 23 or 26, I always forget now, but it's like 23 or 26 cases. We had 4 carts and all this stuff that was loaded on. We had separate hampers and all this stuff that went onto our truck. And like I said, our truck is first in the hole. So we'd have to get in there, get all this stuff out and load it onto a truck so that truck can pull out, especially depending on where you are. Smaller venues, you might have one bay that you're working on. So you got to be fast. So it's got to be a system of how you do. You memorize everything in your head, and then you memorize where everything goes in there. I have pictures for reference, but after like show 15 or so, I remember where everything was. Even taking a year off almost from May to January and going out on the second or the last leg of the tour, I could, in my head, I memorized where everything was. Because you do it so many times. We did it like 150 shows.
Yes.
So
you and the rig, you gotta make sure that the props are there. And like, I remember one day, Mr. Perry, like he does, Darlene, she was cooking something, and he's like, what are you cooking? And I just feel like spaghetti. And then of course he's like, there's nothing. So you make sure the napkins.
let me. Okay, is he start you? Well, you've been to the place, so you went 7 times. You know that a lot of stuff happened later on that didn't happen early on in the play. And Mr. Bear is a prankster. He's a prankster. So the way, how did that start? Because we didn't used to have paper towels in there. You know, with the yeah, it was used to be. I can't remember what we used to put in. I think it was just empty. And then what happened one day was we would have, because Bam does the joke with the paper towel, so we would have all of those paper towels that you didn't want to throw away, because the napkins that are sitting on the table, they use to wipe sweat. So we just like, we'll just reuse the napkins that she's ripping off. That's what we'll put in there instead of throwing this stuff away. So it got to a point, after 100 shows, 80 shows, you got napkins everywhere. So we started doing was stuffing them in the pans to make it look thicker, and we put those in the oven and stuff. So then he started doing that. So where were we? I can't remember where we were. We tried to play a joke on him.
Really?
So yeah, but he caught it. He knows, he feels everything, and I knew it was going to be a problem because I did it. Me and Tariq. So what we did was, in one of the shows, we took that pan that he pulls out, because he starts pulling it out. There's nothing but napkins, right? So what we did was we took it and we put donuts in it, and thinking, we was gonna throw him off when he opened the pan and saw donuts in there, and then of course he caught it immediately, and he was, there's number donuts, and that is, and that's what he said during the play. And he was sitting there, and he came backstage, and he was like, oh yeah, I felt it because it was a little heavier than with the regular napkins in there. It was like, man, come on. So yeah, you can't really get him in a joke. We tried though.
No, he is embarrassed. What is some advice you could give to someone who wants to go into your field?
Grind. Don't take no for an answer. One of my biggest assets, I think, is that I don't just take no. It took me 3 years to get on it at Tyler Perry Studios, but because people don't leave. But grind. I mean, go out there and did you see the video that Tyler Perry and I did on Netflix?
Of course.
It's the Strong Black Leads thing, right?
Well, I'm probably a Mr. Perry's biggest fan. The reason why I went to the tour 7 times ago, whatever video, yes, I saw you.
So the reason I say that is because on that video I talk about where, and a lot of it didn't make it in the final cut, but I talk about going in and doing the job, and you make the job, or do your best to make the job better than it was when you first got there. But you have to realize that the job that you are working right then and there is actually your application or your resume for the next job you work in this industry, because the industry looks like it's just huge. It does, but it's not. It is very close. So, like, you go over here and you work a job, and you go here and you just say you suck it up. It might just be a bad show, for you, but you don't have a good showing. Well, then you go to move to another show, and then somebody calls back to the person in charge, the AD or whoever on the show before, and they say, hey, well, how was Walter over here on this show? Man, I don't know how he normally is or whatever, but yeah, he came over here. He just really sucked, and so I can't recommend him for that job. Mm-hmm. So the best thing is to go out and put your best foot forward, leave your troubles at the door, come in, do the job to the best of your ability, and do what you can do to make that job better for the person who's coming in behind you. Make yourself so people know that you're valuable, that you can do it, because once you do that, then what happens is these people move to other shows, or they know people doing other shows, and they'll either pull you along to those shows, or they'll recommend you to people, or people call for references and stuff like that. So that's the biggest thing, I think. The jobs will come if you do the job. They will come. It takes a minute. Yeah, I think it took me a year and a half or somewhere in that neighborhood to where I could work as a production assistant pretty much full time.
Mm-hmm.
So by grinding, what I mean is you go out there, you remember I told you at the beginning I worked a lot of stuff for free. I got out there and I got my name out there so that people who know you know who you are, they know how you work, and then they will recommend you to other people, or when they go to other jobs, bigger jobs, they'll take you with them, and you just continue to work and show people that you're gonna work, and then what'll happen is the jobs will start to come, and it like I said, it takes a minute for some time. Like it took about a year and a half, 2 years or something like that for me to really start working where I didn't, because I was doing background and I was doing PA work, and like I said, every now and then I have principal role here and there, stunt work here and there, but I put all of that together,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I mean by grinding. You get there and you meet people and you talk to people and you treat them right and you do the job, and then that's how you'll get more jobs.
Wow, that is incredible. Thank you, Walter, for you really gave us an inside look not only at TPS Type Studios, but basically the entire industry. And I can, being an active producer and director myself, I know every word you say is really true. It's a really small world of entertainment, and everybody knows everybody. So
Yep.
put your best foot forward. Walter,
Yep.
how can they find you?
You can go on Instagram. You can find me there, and it's at WJ Hendricks 3. Because I'm the third, so fell again. Anyway, this technology, this is live, right? So this is what happened. But no, you can go on Instagram. It's at WJ Hendricks 3. That's the same as on Twitter. You can also go to Facebook, and you can find me at W Hendricks 3 SA. SA is for SAG-AFTRA. And you can see my page there. But Instagram is where I'm mostly. If you go on there, you'll see most of the stuff that I put out there.
Yeah.
Go hit it. Go follow me on there. See what I'm up to.
And also, the Madea farewell play is streaming on BET Plus. So go watch it. Walter put a lot of hard work in. A lot of hours, a lot of shit.
Whole team did.
Whole team, yeah. So you had a great team, So check them out. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we will see you next week.
And when you go out in public, wear your mask.
Please, good.
Yeah.
If not, Madea gonna get you. Okay.
That's right. Coming to get you.
All right. Bye, y'all.
All righty.
Passion, romance, sex, sin, pain, and death. Love unexpected. When you think you know your partner, think again.